What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How's everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, May 10th of 2023? Before we get into all the good stuff, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on the socials at the Alex Cuesta Show. Dave, you know, it's still a thing that I just can't shake you.
You might get a cough and a lot of other things from me tonight because for some reason I'm breaking. I don't know what's happening. You saw it before we started recording. It's pretty bad.
David actually did something physical today for the first time in a long time, and his body's
fine before I got on the Zoom with you. So it's you. You sent a computer virus over.
I mean, I have that effect on humans that I infest them, and it's, you know, it's a good quality. It's probably my best trait. Just being like cancer is my best trait. Anyway, before we get into the show this week, I want to talk about a little bit of last week's show. We had Jose Gallison, who is a member of the Tower Gang. He has his own podcast, No Way Jose, and I thought we had a solid conversation last week. We kind of talked about the differences between libertarianism and anarchy and, just small government conservatism.
Pretty in-depth, honestly.
Pretty in-depth. He's really knowledgeable. If you want to hear about all that type of stuff, and also we got into some of the oddities of the Oklahoma City bombing, specifically Terrence Yakee's not suicide, because it wasn't a suicide. He was definitely set up and murdered by the government. But hear more about that on the show last week. And then if you're more curious, go listen to No Way Jose, because you'll hear the detailed, he has series where he just reads and he's just a super smart dude, knows his shit. So go give him a listen and go give a listen to last week's show. But this week, Dave, every once in a while, it is cool to kick back and just have someone that, we've known forever. Mm-hmm. A person that, was a little brother to me, was your absolute brother and your best friend. And then he decided to say, fuck all of us and move away.
Don't say was. Yeah, don't say was.
No. It is a was. He ran away from us. But he is Pat Adebamowo, better known as Mo for us. He's a former track and football star. What's going on, brother?
What's up, my boy? What's up? How you doing?
Nothing at all. We're having a good time. David already defending you. He's white knighting you, but that's okay. That's okay.
I got stripped away. It took me away.
So anyway, I just want to jump right in because I mentioned former track and football star. All of us here are former athletes. We all did our thing, and unfortunately, I've talked to some athletes like my other shows and my other show, Talking in Ovals, a track podcast. We talk to a lot of athletes all the time, but it does come to an end for all of us, some of us sooner than others. But Mo, you had a really good career, especially track and football over in Georgia. When you moved down there, you got away from the cesspool that is Manchester and got to some a serious sports area where I think it maybe benefited you. It hurt us as a town and losing talent, but it certainly benefited you to go to somewhere which is more serious about sports. How has the adjustment been? Because you're still pretty fresh. You're a young guy. You just stopped a few years ago, really doing it. So how have you adjusted to, not being able to play an organized sport? What have you been doing in the interim?
I try to do a lot of like with the flag tournament leagues, flag football leagues, like 7-on-7 things like that to stay in shape, kind of. Because I feel like I'm never gonna lose it. People say that. I mean, I never will. But I mean, I just try to stay in shape, keep my craft, sharp. You feel me?
Staying in shape is important, and it's something. It gets harder and harder. I'll tell you that, Mo. It gets so much harder. When you start, you're working now, you're doing things. It becomes difficult, and the easiest thing to do, Dave, this, I know this, is to just make every damn excuse why you shouldn't go to the gym, shouldn't go on a run, why that bag of chips looks so much better than your running shoes. Like all of those things are are much better. Dave, I don't think we've ever had this conversation. What has it been like for you? Because you were pretty damn good at tennis, and
That's okay.
you had your physical ailments that didn't let you do. You were a good football player,
Mhm.
but your body hates you, so you couldn't continue doing it and things like that. What did you do? Like, were you tempted when you went away to school? Were you tempted to just try out for your school team in college?
Just slightly. And I was actually going to do flag football, but it just never happened. So I didn't really do anything in college. In fact, now I'm more active than I was in college. Very happily so. I really should have started training to fight earlier in my life. But hey, things happen. So I'm happy just to do it now, honestly.
Yeah, like right now, it sucks having your little brother that can easily beat your ass.
Oh, yeah.
Like that is no fun. Like there was a long time where I knew I could absolutely beat up David. Like it wasn't even a question whether he was bigger than me, smaller than me. It didn't care. I knew he couldn't fight. Now it's not even a question.
Mm-mm.
He'll be like the dude like palming my forehead, and I'm just like swinging and missing. Like that's exactly what would go on now, and it's embarrassing. And I want to get into an MMA gym, but having kids means you just have to work out sparingly and when you can. So. I mean,
find the time, yeah, honestly.
It's but it's like the thing is, it's like find the time, but when you really think about it during your day, like Mo and stuff, it's like we have plenty of time, right? When we're sitting down and we're on our phones for an hour, just getting caught in a wormhole. When you decide to put TV on and you want to watch something and you look at your phone and kind of listen to the TV and only half pay attention to the TV, it's like that
every day.
every day. And it's like, we do have plenty of time. Now, downtime is important. I'm a person that thinks that downtime is important. Shutting off your brain is important. But when we say like, we don't have the time, we're all full of shit. Even people that have kids, your kids go to bed. Your kids go to bed. You set your bedtime for your kids. You have time after that. Do a 20-minute, half an hour workout.
Yeah.
Like it's not hard.
And you don't even need to do it every day.
No.
You could do it like 2 to 3 times a week, and your body's going to be okay as long as you don't like just eat like a glutton.
Do shit. Yeah.
My problem is
I do that too.
That's true, but still, like it's just like you keep like a semi-okay diet, and you just work out 2 to 3 times a week, and you're going to be fine for the most part.
Maybe decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mo, you did football and track, but have you found yourself trying to do some other sports now that you're done with those? Or like you going and doing like basketball? Are you doing any like, softball leagues or anything like that? Like what are you doing to stay in shape? Are you joining any things like that?
No, not at all, actually. Like to me, like when I moved out here, basketball, it was kind of a priority, but then when football and track really like made itself like prominent in my life, basketball was just like a thing to stay in shape in the middle of those seasons. So like even now, like I don't want to do anything else, to be honest.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is certainly fair. So I want to ask, so we always hear all the time, a lot of jobs, they claim like, we want athletes. And I feel like it gives you
especially sales.
Especially sales. And that's where, where you're at right now. And I think it gives us, athletes have a unique advantage. How do you feel that being an athlete and being a pretty high level athlete, a good athlete, prepared you for the real world, for the workplace, for doing things like that?
Just like the discipline at the top of the list, discipline from sports has really set my, like how well I do in everything I do, like with sales and everything. But then the competitiveness, like I don't like to lose, and I try to show that I'm the best at everything I do. Like I'm not better than anybody, but like I will be the best in whatever the fuck I do. To be honest, that's just how. Yeah, it's just shit to prove. Like I mean, like it translates from sports to sales. Like if I see that somebody's doing great, I'm gonna watch what they do. I'm not gonna copy what they do. I'm not gonna comment on what they do, but I see what they do. I want to try to beat that shit. Of course, that's just how it is.
I could just see Mo sitting over like another salesman's shoulder with like a camera, just doing it, watching it, and then like going back at home and like watching film, like old school film breakdown, and like
a huddle account with all his salespersons. Like
you might have something.
No, honestly, car sales. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. I treated that shit like football.
There you go.
But like honestly, like fuck LinkedIn. Like we should create a new like social media thing where like people actually like film their like strategies and like people can critique it and break them down.
But like only athletes, like just keep it like that.
Call it like after the sport, like for salespeople, like, and just like break down like all like people like sell stuff. That would actually
That
be,
shit is so smart though. That's actually a really good idea.
but I don't have the means or the intelligence to do it. So like this is gonna float in the ether and someone's gonna hear it and then they're gonna do it. And you know what? If you do, go for it. I don't even need the credit. Just do it. Someone get famous.
I'd be pissed.
You see, that's why you're still a young and competitive guy. When you get to my age and then like you look down and like your gut is like the most prominent part of what you see, it's like, well, that's unfortunate. And now the competitive edge is gone because if I sprint up my driveway, I just want to roll over and die. Like it's not a great.
See, that's what I love about sprints too. I was never a long distance person, so like I got them little bursts. After that, like I'm fucked. I can't breathe with the shit.
See, you weren't a longer person because I wasn't coaching you. I had a theory that all of my sprinters had to at least run a 400 and had to be able to run a 400 well.
My coaches did the same thing down here, and I hated it. I hated that I was good at it. That was the worst part.
Yeah, because, you know, we treat you guys differently where we have like the longer distance guys, like your 800 milers that drop down, like your good 800 guys drop down to do a 400. You're trying to get them to go a little more even, right? You want them to do like, you know, go out in like 28, come back in 28, like something closer to that. For guys like you, it's like, nah, you're going to die. You got to go out and like,
That's exactly what,
not even 28, but faster. But you had to go out in like 22. You had to go on like 22, 23. And then just die gracefully, like gracefully die on the way back and hopefully drop a 48. Like that's what we were looking.
Especially that last stretch. Like you just like, my legs like to stiffen up and shit on that last stretch. And I'm just like, fuck. You got to push.
And then you have,
I ran a 48 too.
And you have coach going, arms, pump your arms.
Yes. Every single 400. Yes. And then running with me on the track. I'm like, nigga, you didn't run this shit. Like, I'm dead.
You sound like me as a coach. But no, I mentioned 48 because I remember specifically you dropped a 48. And I think that's when I was telling you, like, you were like, I only run the 200, 100. I'm like, and you were telling me like your 200s were like 22s and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, you're running a 48. And you're like, I'm never going to do that. No, I think it was like not too long ago. Actually, we ran that 48.
I was like, and I qualified for state that year when I ran it. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that shit. Like, no. And the crazy thing is, I ran a 48 at state, and that's still like, they got me, I think, fourth in the state. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers is really dropping like 46s, 47s and shit. I'm like, yo, what?
What's wild now too, I don't know how much you pay attention to track anymore right now, Mo, but like obviously, you know, I do my other show with Dave Hyatt, Talking in Ovals, and we talk to a lot of track people, and what they're doing in high school right now is absolutely stupid. You like a 48, I don't even know if it qualifies you for some states. Like people are dropping 47s and 46s like they're nothing. We have a high school kid that beat Noah Lyles, ran a 9.83, a high school kid, and then came back in the 200 a week later. I think ran a 19.8 something, beating Noah Lyles' high school record.
Wow.
Like, and these kids are just getting ridiculously fast, and it's like I'm happy. I'm an old fat guy because you know, I won my county and conference. I sure as hell would not have won county and conference in Jersey right now with the runner I was. So it's like kind of blessed to be where I was. So I want to also talk about the real world in terms of sports, because the real world right now is all sorts of fucked, right? There's lots of things going on. It's a very, I mean, we're gonna cut to the chase. Joe Biden's been awful. Our country is not doing well, and you got to really cope with a lot of nonsense going on right now, right? So how has being an athlete helped you cope and be disciplined and know when to engage, when not to engage? What's worth losing your job over and what isn't? Like, what have you like? What is that?
It's like, honestly, with the same thing with sports, like you just gotta block out the noise. To be honest, like if it's not like physically harming you, like stopping your money, like anything with your family, like it really shouldn't even matter, in my opinion.
It should.
So all that other shit going on, like it's just like it's cool. Like you live your life, you do what you do. Like, I don't really give a fuck.
Now we're not on video, but I do have to say, Pat, you're a black dude, right? That's obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
So with all the current climate and shit going on, what has it been like for you? Because you really haven't fully agreed with a lot of the narratives going around in terms of what all black people should be thinking right now. Have you had a lot of pressure put on you to kind of capitulate to exactly what the world has wanted you to say? Or does everyone just kind of leave you the hell alone and let you have your own opinions?
I say what the fuck I want. Yeah. I don't care about no backlash from anything I say. You ain't gonna do shit to me, so I really don't give a fuck. That's really how I look at it.
It's how you gotta roll, dog. That's how you gotta roll, honestly.
I mean, yeah. You're not gonna do shit to me. So I will say whatever the fuck I want to say, but like if I feel like I don't need to say anything, I'm not gonna say shit.
Yep.
I've told you before, I think you should run for office. I think someone like you that just does not care. I think it would be a breath of fresh air. Go run for like school board or council. Just go mess everything up and piss everyone off, because that's like the whole fun of it. So yeah, I love that. I love that, Mo. I love it. I want to jump into some football. Something, us three, we've been tortured souls for
our whole lives.
Long time. And I remember getting the occasional message from you before every like Jet season, like, how are we going to do this year? And I'm like, Mo, buckle in. We're going to fucking suck again. Like, relax. Like, we could be optimistic about this and that, but it's not going to be good. And you're like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. But I try to be optimistic every season. That's one thing I have to be.
But this year, I think we actually have a reason to be optimistic right now, Mo.
If this isn't a reason to be optimistic, then I don't know what is.
I've been wanting to talk my shit, but it's like I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be humble about it. Mm-hmm. But in the back of my mind, I'm talking so much shit. Like,
this is the forum to do it, though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So following the Aaron Rodgers saga, and for those that don't know, Aaron Rodgers is officially a New York Jet. Mm-hmm. Joe Douglas completed the trade. He was able to minimal damage with that first round pick, gave it to 13, but got 15. So, lost out on a tackle because of that. So there is some damages to it. Got a good edge rusher, but to be seen, obviously college kid, but a college good edge rusher. What were your feelings during the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers and what was going on there? Did you ever have the feeling like, man, this isn't going to happen and we're going to have to go fucking get Ryan Tannehill? Like, what were your feelings on that?
Just optimism. Like, I really did want him to be here. My first choice, honestly, was Lamar. I really wanted Lamar. At the same time, it was like, there's no reason for him not to come. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. His best option would be the Jets. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
That shit worked out. It just took a long ass fucking time. That shit pissed me off.
So long. even after he went on McAfee's show and said my intention is to play for the New York Jets, it still took a long time. They said we would hear something
that Monday. Didn't hear shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was tight. I was pissed.
Yeah. That was annoying. I do have to say, I didn't want Lamar at all.
Really?
Running quarterbacks that hurt their legs become mobile quarterbacks that can't throw, and not non-mobile quarterbacks that can't throw. He's not a pocket passer. Granted, he had no one to throw to besides Mark Andrews. Okay, I will give him a slight pass on that. But at the same exact time, your ass is the MVP of the league at one point. It's your job to elevate everyone else. I don't like Tom Brady, but I do have to say, the man did the most with very little. Those first few Patriots Super Bowls, who remembers their wide receivers? If you weren't a Jets fan in the division, who knows?
That's very true.
Tim Brown, the other Tim Brown, not the good Tim Brown, the other Tim Brown, David Gibbons. Who knows these dudes? Ben Coates was his fucking tight end. Yeah. I know it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I watched Tom Brady win with these dudes. But it's like, no one knew who they were. Kevin Falk was his best running back. Kevin Falk's a backup on 31 other teams. On a Tom Brady team, he's their best. Like, Tom Brady did what an MVP and a superstar was supposed to do with those teams. He elevated everyone and made them really good. I don't give excuses to guys that don't have receivers because that's your job. I've said Lamar is a running back that has a good deep ball, and I still stand that Lamar is a running back with a good deep ball, which is why I didn't want him on the Jets. And he's also hurt his legs. Once you hurt your legs, Lamar seems like a really good dude. I love his press conferences. I think he's all about the team. I think he's a really good person, but I think he might be done. in terms of his superstar. Yeah. I really think that we might see some flashes, but I don't think we're going to get the same Lamar.
I don't know. I don't think it needs to be with Baltimore anywhere. That's the thing. I think on a different team, he can adapt to that. He can turn into a pocket presence, the quarterback.
Maybe could Michael Vick?
He can be a pocket passer.
Vic couldn't. Vic was a better passer in every which way, a better passer than Lamar.
Yeah. 100%.
But he couldn't be a pocket guy. Cam Newton, superior passer, couldn't really be a pocket guy. He wasn't.
Yeah,
He was a runner, Dave. Don't get me
No, I was just saying, I don't know how much
he
superior Cam
used his
is.
size. He used his size to his advantage. Right? Yeah.
He did, and I don't blame him, but he paid the price.
Mm-hmm.
Like a motherfucker. Yeah, he did.
Like he can still play well, and I think he's gotten a raw deal kind of everywhere he's gone since Carolina. But I mean, you see it, these mobile guys, and you can go back to Randall Cunningham. Like Randall Cunningham was very similar. Yep. But your guys that, weren't super mobile or just semi-mobile, right? Like John Elway was mobile when necessary. Steve Young mobile when necessary. You know what I mean? So it's like they were pocket passers first. And you see that. Yeah. So Wilson in his heyday, pocket passer first, can be mobile. Kyler Murray, yet to be seen if he's still talented. We'll find out.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, Deshaun Watson, I think, is a perfect mold. Mobile when needed, but remains in the pocket and chooses to be in the pocket. So
I agree.
That's what scares the shit out of me about Lamar. When running quarterbacks get their legs hurt, that scares the hell out of me. And that's why I didn't want the Jets to go after him.
But that's just like growing up with speed. Like that's just you just use what you know is going to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean that's really what it is. Yeah, he could be a pocket passer. You just go with what you know in that sense.
Yeah. It's making plays, so it's hard to tell him no. What are you gonna say? Don't run for the touchdown, Lamar. Like no, do it.
If you have the option to throw a pass and you know you're gonna gain more with a run, like run that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still get hurt.
I guess it's yet to be seen if they made the right decision, right? Because I think A-Rod's going to make the best out of everyone. Because, man, I don't want Lamar taking passes away from Garrett or runs away from Breece Hall.
That's another thing, yeah. Especially with Breece, no.
Yeah, especially with
he would have to learn to be a pocket passer, though.
Yeah.
But would he adjust? That's the thing. If he still thinks he can do it, did RG3 ever really adjust? RG3's out the league because he couldn't adjust.
You're right.
So it's like, that's my thing. I don't doubt Lamar's hunger, his drive. I think he works his ass off on being a better passer. And I think he's become a better passer. But I don't think that from when he stepped in, he's a much better passer. Yes. But if you're comparing this Jets team and what they would need, A-Rod, I think, is a superior choice because he's now going to spread the wealth with the football. We're forgetting about Corey Davis. Corey Davis is going to have a hell of a fucking year this year because
I believe it.
Lizard. I think you're going to see, as long as Rodgers stays healthy, this is all caveat, 100 plus catches from Garrett Wilson. You're going to see Corey Davis somewhere in the 80s, Lazard in the 60s. You're going to see a lot of dudes doing a lot of things. And this isn't counting the tight ends that he's going to feed.
We got a line to stay healthy before any of that, though, because that's just not going to happen if we don't have a fucking healthy old line.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's good. That's an issue.
But we have some depth now, though. Like, that's the thing. I peeped that.
Yeah, there is some depth, and I think Breece Hall makes up for a lot. Healthy Breece helped that line out a ton last year because he hit holes and he hit holes that weren't there. So we didn't realize how bad the line was playing until Breece Hall got hurt.
Until he got hurt. Yeah.
So damn Broncos.
Fuck. Just side note, have you seen how happy A-Rod has looked since he's been here?
Dude, he looks younger. We were just talking about this earlier.
He looks genuinely happy though.
Yes, yeah.
I saw somebody tweet, and I forget who it was. I think it was one of the Jets beat writers. It was like, what the hell did they do to him in Green Bay? He legitimately looks 5 years younger. Like, what were they doing this man? And I told David, better drugs in New York.
Of course.
Better ayahuasca. He has more options. He doesn't have to go out to Montana for it. You just come up here to upstate New York where I am, and there's retreats galore up here. And more readily accessible, better stuff. He doesn't have to go fight a farmer for it. You could just go to the hipster corner.
Hey, maybe that darkness retreat really did help a lot. I don't know.
And, it probably did. It probably did.
Do
Dude,
you
cut his
think?
hair and everything. Like, he's a completely different person. I love that shit.
Do you know what would have been even better if he would have went bald and just joined up with Salah and Douglas and like bald boy power? The whole
Bro, that
team
would
should
be
go
crazy.
bald. The whole team should go bald. That would be
Yeah,
incredible.
'cause I can see that, though. I can see that. Because they did the whole beard thing going on for the
That's
longest.
true.
They drafted
Yeah,
that one
that
dude
shit.
with the mullet. He cannot lose.
What's his name? Freeney?
No, not Freeney.
No,
Freeney's
not
gone. He
Feeney.
went-
Freeney.
Feeney,
Feeney's still on.
Feeney's still on? Oh, we're
Yeah,
going to
Feeney's still
mullet
on.
war?
Yeah,
I'm excited. We drafted a kid,
the center, right?
the center, and he has an
Oh, yeah.
Tip and something. Yeah, fuck.
epic mullet. Epic mullet. Like, ready to work. I'm going to fuck you up in the front.
Yep.
You look at me from behind, we're partying. Like, that's
I love that
where
shit.
we are at. He's
I'm
the
not
only who
gonna
gets a
lie.
pass.
I was really concerned that Rodgers was going to go in that darkness retreat, and then the darkness is just going to like take him. Like it would be
Eat him
such
up.
a Jets thing that all of a sudden, like he's just missing.
It
Like
would,
he was
though.
literally just taken by a void.
and what's crazy? That shit wouldn't have surprised me
No, not at all. It'd be like,
at
oh,
all. Like,
he was ready to go to the
Obviously.
Jets, but the darkness just wanted him. It just he was gone.
What's crazy to me too is when he went on Pat McAfee and he talked about wanting to come on the Jets. Right there, when he said like I was 90% ready to retire going into the darkness, and then whatever reason came out, I was still kind of doubting it, right? Because I was fresh. He was definitely kind of pissed at the Packers when he was talking about that. But then seeing him since, and quite literally, you can't fake when you're happy all the time. Like,
exactly.
you could fake being happy every once in a while, but you can't fake genuine happiness. And Aaron Rodgers, every time you see him in the Jets facility, looks genuinely happy.
A big ass smile on his face. He's playful with everybody. He's fucking interacting and shit. Like that's what you want to see.
Going with Sauce Gardner to the game, letting Sauce spit his game at Jessica Alba. Like, my God. Sauce, number one, not knowing who Jessica Alba is. I'm going to tell everybody right now. I'm going to tell everyone right now. Sauce knew who Jessica Alba was. Are you guys stupid? Sauce
so?
is just.
Oh, no.
Sauce plays the game, man. Listen, you see that, man? He has a swagger for days.
Dog,
if you think he didn't look at
his
Jessica
line
Alba
was
and just
crazy.
think, if you didn't think that he didn't look at her and go, I'm Sauce Gardner now. That's lunch. Like he definitely.
I like that. I like that.
I'm gonna sauce her up. Like honestly, like that's gotta be. If he needs to become a porn star and do that for like a day, I'm gonna sauce you up, girl.
The line he said, where he said, "How can I catch up when I'm the catch?" It's fucking great in the moment.
That's
son.
my mindset, man. I'm telling you, that's my mindset. That's my
It's
mindset.
very ironic for a cornerback to be saying that.
That's true.
It is. But he has every reason too. He can back that shit up.
Oh, 100%.
I love it.
He does. And you know what, Dave? It's funny. Now I'm gonna give a shout out to Hack No Cap real quick because he has a new song coming out, which is gonna be dropping in his rap EP in about a month. But he had a line about Sauce Gardner. And people are going to hear it at one point. And when he said, like, something, Shorty thinks she slipped me, I ain't even Gardner.
Yeah.
Like, and it mentioned Sauce.
Ooh.
It really reminded me of that line where he's like, I'm number one. I got the number one, A1 Sauce Gardner. Shorty thinks he slipped me. I ain't even Gardner. Like, it was a bar number one. And it reminded me exactly of something like that, where like Sauce is like, what do you mean? I'm not even trying right now. Like, that's basically what it was. And Hack, I got you, bro. But, but yeah, I'm pumped. So, curious to you. You look at this team. Who do you think on this team is going to have a breakout season this year? Now, we mentioned Garrett Wilson, we mentioned Breece Hall, like the usual suspects. But is there anyone that you think that we're not looking at that might have a good year?
Miko Hardman. Dude got a lot of speed to him. Like that's one that like we need. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely.
He's gonna stand out this year.
Definitely.
Like, big time.
Do you think Denzel Mims plays better this year? Do you think he has a role on this team right now with Lazard in front of him, with Corey Davis in front of him? He's like third guy right now as a bigger possession receiver. Do you think he has a future on this team?
Yes. Because I think Miko only signed for he only has a 1 year deal right now, right?
I think so.
I think depending on how he performs this year, and how Mims performs this year, like that's really gonna say who has a role on the team. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna do what he has to do regardless.
And it's tough because Mims is a guy I've rooted for, and I think he's done everything the right way, going through all this hardship. He's worked his ass off, and he said all the right things. And last year, I thought, he had some really good moments. Last year, he showed his freakish athleticism on some catches and things that he did, but he still had some really bonehead mistakes.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you can't do that. I think, if Mims ever listens to this, my dude, do what you got to do as a receiver. Get good at special teams too. Like, he can have a long career. He could be a Jet for a long time. Slater I bring the Patriots up again, but Slater is a borderline Hall of Famer because of his special teams work.
Because of special teams. Yeah.
Incredible player. And I think people need to recognize how important special teams guys are like that. But Mims needs to take notes there where, yes, you are a talented wide receiver. You had high hopes coming out the draft, but adjust, become the best player you could be now. Be that special teams guy. Go learn from Justin Hardy and over that role, or be the second guy to him and give us some more weapons there. That's how he's going to stay on the team. And I want Denzel Mims on the team. I like Denzel Mims. So,
for sure.
That's certainly what I want to say over there to Mr. Mims. Any other comments or observations about like the NFL offseason or the draft or anything that you saw, not even just with the Jets, or anything cool that you want to talk about?
No, fuck every other team. I'm a Jets fan.
Fair.
Absolutely.
Very fair.
Respect that. But can we take a moment to make fun of the Giants? Would you pay a quarterback $40 million a year for throwing 14 touchdowns?
No. No.
To every Giants fan out there.
No shit.
Why? Look, I get it. I trust Dable too. I thought Dable did really good last year. But you're paying a dude. I don't give a fuck that he didn't have any receivers. Again, I go back to Tom Brady. I go back to those types of quarterbacks.
That shit happened.
You make it work. He threw 14. Less touchdowns than there are games, and you're paying him $40 million a year to possibly not even turn around and hand the ball to Saquon, which was a saving grace all last year, because they might not want to pay Saquon.
Yep.
What is Danny Dimes? What is Vanilla Vic without Saquon? Can we ask that question right here, Dave? What is he without Saquon?
I don't know. I don't hate Daniel Jones as much as you do, but I do understand. I didn't even realize there's 14 touchdowns. I thought he threw more. I didn't look.
14.
No, 14. It was 14.
Duke quarterbacks stuck.
But I think the main issue with that though is I'm not exactly sure who else they would have gotten.
I mean, yeah.
That's the thing. And Daniel Jones, he played decently well in the playoffs. He played well against the Vikings, but everyone played well against the Vikings. But he still did decently well in the playoffs. The team likes him. I don't know how you go and get another QB that is going to get the team to rally around them like they do around Jones and do well enough. So I feel like it was kind of rocking a hard place because I don't know. I don't think Daniel Jones is elite, but I don't think he's trash.
He's not trash. Yeah, he made a believer out of me in some way.
I mean, we had elite on the team last year, and now that he's gone, there is no more elite in the NFL. Joe Flacco is the elite.
It's true. Can't
you need to realize that
elite without Flacco.
Can't be elite without Flacco. So I'm just relooking real quick. So Daniel Jones was the 6th overall.
You're trying to make sure you're just correct.
So Kyler was the 1st. No, I'm not stats. I'm looking at the draft because you're asking who else could they have got? David, let me tell you. They picked Daniel Jones.
No. I'm saying paying money like this offseason. I'm not saying draft-wise. I'm saying
I would rather take Ryan Tannehill than fucking Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather take Derek Carr. Go get Derek Carr. Go get Mike White. Mike White's about to be a starter in Miami because freaking Tua Tagovailoa has pudding for his brains. Like,
I feel bad for that dude.
I don't, because you decided not to retire. I felt bad for him getting hurt. The fact that he's not retiring, I'm done feeling bad for you.
And everything last year proved that he should retire. Like, it's not worth it. That shit is not worth it.
And also, everything last year proved that the NFL does not give a fuck about player safety.
They do not give a fuck.
Not at all. You saw a man not only seizure on the ground, but then also stumble in the same game. And then you said, "Oh, I think he has a concussion." And then he played later in the year. Are you kidding me? Like,
they don't care. They want to stress all this concussion protocol shit, but like it's all for show. It's all for media. They don't give a fuck.
They only did it because Will Smith starred in a goddamn movie about it.
Fucking movie.
Honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That was pre him being a bitch. But still, no, I think that no. Did the entanglement happen before that? No,
I don't know.
I think Will was already a bitch by then. It didn't happen yet. I don't know.
Okay.
It was after that. Okay, so he still had his man card. But yeah, no. And again, they cared so much about player safety. They added a game.
Like
we took away a preseason game, which nobody gives a shit about and doesn't try it anyway. But we added a game. We care so much about your physical well-being. We
want to give you a chance to get hurt again.
Why does nobody actually talk about this? Like, we all enjoy football, so we're all like, cool, guys, go die. But it's like, in reality, the shit that, like, they should be able, like, I would not be angry if, like, every player, including all former players, since Goodell became,
Goodell bot,
because he was the one that started really. What'd you say, Dave?
Be correct. He's a robot.
He's a robot. Him and Zuckerberg came from the same like model line. But I mean, like, if all the players came and just sued, specifically Goodell for being a fucking liar, and the NFL about player safety, like they should.
Right.
That's a good idea to me.
Why you got to watch the XFL instead?
What did you call it? The beer snake?
The beer snake. Dog, that environment was a ton of fun in DC. But I don't need to get off on a tangent. I went to multiple games.
Ooh.
Yeah. I went to one in like week 9, whatever it was. And then I went to the home playoff game that they had. They get that beer snake to the top of the stadium and they throw lemons on the field. The lemons are not exactly encouraged, but kind of encouraged because the team fucking walked out with lemons in their hands. So it's like, it's a thing.
Hey, yo.
But,
Little do you know, David's actually famous. He put his balls in the beer snake.
That's completely incorrect. If I did that, I would be thrown out.
Well, would you be legendary?
No.
Yes, you would.
It would officially be the ball snake from now on.
That'd be disgusting. I would not be happy with myself.
Now, we got to get apparel, and you only have to do that if you're wearing one of our shirts and it's clearly visible to the screen.
Boston.
Oh, yeah, shill with that. That's a good idea.
I am not above grifting, Dave. We're still poor. We need to get somewhere, and then we can stop. So I want to move on. Dave and I, mostly Dave, started getting back into the wrestling scene. Dave got Peacock, and because of that, was able to watch all like the back stuff, the documentaries and everything. And me being a nerd, I'm happy I got to mooch off Dave's Peacock because it gives me all my track and field stuff. So I get the best of both worlds there. But you didn't know about that Diamond League, Mo. All Diamond League meets are on Peacock.
Not at all.
Yeah, and it's the world feed, not even the one where they skip events. Anyway, but Dave got that, and he got into it, and got me kind of back into it. And it really looks, I think to both of us, this is about as close as we may get to the Ruthless Aggression Attitude Era coming back.
Yes.
They're taking more chances, it seems.
It's definitely better than, I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch like the COVID era or apparently there's special guest.
I saw everything on like Twitter and shit. Like
I didn't watch any of that shit. But I've heard it was very bad. It was very bad. It looks like it has definitely gotten a ton better than that. Now, is it Attitude Era? Is it Ruthless Aggression Era? I don't really think so. But it's definitely working its way towards being better. No, there's no boobs. But it's definitely working its way towards being a better product.
I wish.
Now,
yeah, it is.
Dave, what do you think? You've been watching still more than I have. And Pat, it seems like you've been watching again. What do you guys, has there been any change since Endeavor bought it? For people that don't know, Endeavor is also the company that owns UFC. So now, WWE and UFC are now that much closer. So I'm curious if we're going to see some cross promotion. But has there been much change, or are they kind of doing basically what they did with the UFC? Like, oh, we're the cash cow, you make us money and do what you guys do best.
Yeah, there hadn't really been any change.
I haven't seen anything, to be honest.
Not a direct change, at least. I don't know if anything hasn't happened in
behind the scenes and shit. Yeah, I was about to say,
but there's no direct.
What you can see, no, there's nothing different.
Yeah, it's been mostly the same as what they've been doing. It's for the most part. Actually, it does seem like it's gotten even a little bit better. Maybe Bad Bunny helped that because he's like the best celebrity wrestler we've ever fucking seen. The man actually loves this shit.
No, I don't know. Logan, you see Logan Paul though?
Logan Paul's good. Logan Paul's very good, especially for how little time he's had. But the fact that Bad Bunny is perfectly fine with taking a fucking table spot from Damian Priest is incredible. Like he shouldn't want to do that when he has to perform Coachella in 2 fucking weeks.
Are you forgetting?
Somebody's a true fan though.
Are you getting Snooki doing the handstand like this?
I hate you.
It is all Snooki. And Trump. Trump's in the Hall of Fame. I don't see Bad Bunny in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, fuck you. But he will be. He definitely will be. But overall, I mean, especially in recent weeks, I feel like it's gotten better. I still feel like they missed where Cody Rhodes should have beaten Roman Reigns in WrestleMania.
That kind of pissed me off.
I feel like they missed that. I feel like they still could have gotten the Bloodline story as like a falling resolution kind of thing after that. They could have done that anyway. But I think they also
should want to split the titles up though, because it's the Universal Championship. I think is what the
Undisputed Universal. Yeah.
And then the WWE they. Whatever his reign that he's going on, like he's trying to beat was it Hulk Hogan shit?
Who's he gonna beat soon? Not Bruno. Bruno's 2000 day.
Bruno's not even. Is it Ric Flair?
No, it might be Hulk. It might be Hulk.
I think it's Hulk. They should have split that shit up at WrestleMania, and then he kept one, and then Cody Rhodes kept one. If they really wanted to keep that going.
Yeah, I think the difficult thing with that is that they didn't have that going into WrestleMania where Cody is just going for one. It seems like they're treating it as one belt, as obvious now that they're treating it as one belt and doing the World Heavyweight Championship, which I'm happy that Rhodes is out of that, because that he shouldn't win that. He should win Reigns' belt.
Exactly.
But I still feel like they missed on that. Maybe I'll be proven wrong later. I don't know. But I do feel like there's actually more stories happening now in WWE than just the Bloodline. Like, Dominic has fucking grown on me as a heel, man.
Bro, him
and Rhea are really fucking good together. I think Judgment Day has worked out pretty damn well.
Yeah, they kind of, WWE has had the ability that they didn't have in the past, where if something wasn't going well, they would give it a few months and then they would scrap it. This is now the second group. They did this with New Day. New Day was not over for a long time. Yes. And they figured out a way to lean into it and make it work. And now Judgment Day is the same thing. And I think it also has to do with the talent level of the wrestlers that are making this. New Day, extremely talented. Xavier Woods, Kofi, Big E, and now this group as well. Damian, Dominic, Finn Balor, like they're on Rhea, obviously, like they're a group of talented wrestlers. So I think it might be a little easier since individually, all four, Dominic being the least at that point, but all four were fan favorites. Everyone liked Damian. He was the big, strong dude, but he had more charisma than most big guys. Finn Balor's Finn Balor. Like Finn Balor should be in the heavyweight championship scene. They're fucking around with the guy. And, and Rhea is one of the women that, if you put her up against Ronda and she smacks her in the face and knocks her down, no one's surprised, right? She has that physical presence about her. So I do like.
Plus, people are very horny about Rhea. My goodness, wrestling fans, calm down.
I see it.
But it's but they're very horny.
Honestly, listen, soy boys just want to be dominated, and Rhea, you don't bang Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley bangs you in a weird way. It's what it is. It's like it's definitely like a little bit of they want to be dominated by Rhea. like
that. I'm not gonna let that fly. Honestly, I personally, nah. but I see why. I see why. I see why. Like,
Pat, I have to ask you this because I think the wrestling in general is good. I think most of the people on the roster are just generally good wrestlers,
including the women.
Work.
The women are very well trained. Women's matches are fantastic.
The best match at WrestleMania was Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. That shit stole the show.
It was really good. It's that or the tag team, the Sammy and KO versus the Uso. That was really
day one was definitely better than day two.
I still don't even think day one was magnificent.
Yes,
that shit was amazing.
Yes. But and the thing is, I do want to pose this question because I do think just in general the wrestling is pretty fucking good overall, top to bottom on the roster. I think the thing, and funny enough, I don't know how much you've seen off of NXT. NXT seems to be doing this better, and it seems like WWE is catching up now overall in Raw and SmackDown weekly. Is that the storylines weren't exactly great for a bit, but now there seem to be building more. And also, I feel like people, I don't know if they just weren't exactly good promo-wise, or if they were scripted too much and they didn't allow them to show their personality as much as they seem to show them now. I think...
seeing a lot of people go off script right now is just, that's refreshing.
Yeah.
Nothing's robotic. That was the main reason why I used to hate I used to just want to watch matches. Like all the promo cuts that they did, like they were shit. They were too scripted.
Mm-hmm.
So now, literally everybody that has a personality is going off script, and it's shit is great.
Yeah,
it makes for better content.
And for a little while, it was really only like Bray Wyatt, right? That kind of had that creative ability. Like they were only doing people that they knew could do it, and they weren't letting people take chances. Yeah,
and like you allow Seth to do generally what he wants with the mic.
I like him.
Freaking Rollins, man.
I love Seth.
I like him.
I love Seth Rollins.
He grew on me a lot.
He's so fucking good.
Seth Rollins is the best wrestler on the roster.
My damn.
And I don't think it's close. I really don't. I think, I'm a big Dolph Ziggler guy. I thought Dolph Ziggler, before Seth matured, was arguably the best. Right now, I don't think Seth Rollins has reached a point where it doesn't matter who he wrestles. It's a match of the night worth match. And it doesn't matter because he is that good. There's very few people that have the ability to carry every match they're in.
I wasn't able to watch Backlash. I heard his match with Omos was good. And generally matches with Omos aren't very good because Omos is just not great. Shit. But I heard his match with Omos was actually fucking good to watch. That's how good Seth Rollins is.
He's entered into that Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart echelon of guys who aren't gigantic. Not your big man, but they're technical, but they're not like your Kurt Angles, who their technicality was their strength. Even though Kurt was a great wrestler, he wasn't, it was all about his technicality, where the blend of charisma, the blend of technicality, of selling it, of, just being an absolute master of his craft. Like we get those. Seth Rollins doesn't have to wear a belt to be the face of the WWE. And they could try and push Roman as much as they want, but Seth Rollins gets a much bigger pop than Roman Reigns. And his moves are generally better.
I think they've been pushing Roman too long. Like they had people they didn't like. People didn't like it at first. They grew. He started to grow on them, but now it's been so long to the point where it's just like nobody's gonna get. I feel like most people are gonna get a bigger pop than Roman.
They picked the wrong member of the Shield.
100%.
Dean Ambrose, is John Moxley, now still on a great career, and Seth Rollins were two better options than Roman. Roman just had the look. He was related to The Rock. That's honestly all he had.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's not even that good of a wrestler. He is a stiff, big man. Like, I mean, and it's nothing against Roman. I'm another guy. I think he works hard. I'm not a fan of his current interviews where he's just really cocky. Like, I get it. He worked hard, but it was
not good enough to be a part-timer because he's technically a part-timer right now. He's not good enough to be a part-timer.
He's 100% part-timer right now.
Yeah, he's not good enough to be that.
So I do want to ask you this. How do you feel about Cowboy Brock? Cowboy Brock might be one of my favorite things they have right now.
I loved it. Because I feel like that's the real him, too. That shit was amazing. That's when I really started liking him, though.
Yeah.
That's when, because I just never really liked him at all.
And
when he got to show his personality, like, yeah, that shit grew on me.
like he doesn't need a manager. He doesn't need a mouthpiece because he can just be his goofy ass self, and it's amazing.
Like the dude is funny. Like, he's funny.
Yeah, he's actually pretty
funny
fucking
as
funny.
shit.
Now, Pat, I do got to ask. So obviously, we loved when it was WWF, and even like we grew up ruthless aggression era, and we used to wrestle in the fucking basement, do shit, spear each other, do shit like that. Great fucking time. One, I like Alex said, Peacock ruined me because I went back and watched things and watched documentaries and docuseries and shit like that.
I've been watching old shit right now. I'm in 2007.
There you go. Exactly. But it's just like, one, how much has wrestling just impacted you? Because I realize how much shit I see shit or like things hit me again where it's just like, my goodness, I remember that. And two, when was it Peacock in general, or what made you get back at least in some way into wrestling?
Peacock, 100%. It was really being able to go back and watch all that old shit.
Yep.
And then now just seeing it all on Twitter, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me give it a try, because like this shit's starting to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peacock ruined me. Like you said, that shit ruined me.
That's the worst shit, man. It is the absolute worst. Peacock made me 100% appreciate The Miz, because I watched like the Villains docu-series stuff.
Oh,
his episode is fan-fucking-tastic. And just understanding the mindset. Yeah.
About the shit that happened to him. My goodness.
Yes.
I felt so bad. Yeah. I didn't even know.
Yeah. But just understanding his mindset of going in and be like, I'm gonna find a way to make it somehow, and it's just like, even if I can get them to hate me, that's fine. Like as long as I'm pulling it, as long as I get the reaction.
Exactly, that's all you want. Mm-hmm. Whether it's boos or you getting pops, like no, like that's regardless. That's what you want. You want a reaction.
And the beauty of The Miz now is he is a fan favorite that people love to hate. Like everybody likes The Miz and they know you're just supposed to boo him, but those boos are cheers. Like those boos are actually cheers for The Miz, because The Miz is such an over character, and you could just see he does anything and everything that he needs to do in order, like he is completely dedicated to WWE. Like obviously it's been his dream.
He just puts people over now.
All the time.
He has time, so
and that's his job now. Yeah. And he's okay with it though. Like that's the best part about it. I'm
excited for The Miz to go and eventually just announce and be that announcer that wrestles every once in a while, because man, is he's going to take over Jerry the King. He is going to be the next Jerry the King Lawler in the way that he is, his charisma, and just like the fact that he's going to like play into the heel all the time and, be inappropriate talking about women. Like he can definitely fit into that exact mold.
Can I tell you, watching all this old shit now, I have never ever noticed every other thing that he says.
Yes. Imagine him in this era. Imagine him in this era.
Cancel.
Well, you know what though? What wouldn't have been canceled back in the day? I just remember thinking, like, how did my mom and dad sit down and watch Al Snow come down with his anthem? What does everybody want? Head. What does everybody need? Head. And as a kid, like I'm doing like the head motion, like not knowing what it is. Like
I had no clue.
No clue. And that TNA stand for Testin Albert, and Prince Albert was a cock ring. Like I didn't know any of this. I just knew Trish Stratus had big boobs and they were great. Like that's all I knew.
Who he's still looks very good, and she's pretty damn good in the ring.
She's better than Lita right now.
Yes,
I think Lita's
then she's been pissing me off.
She lost a step. I don't think she's coming back.
I think she's scared to hurt herself. I don't think she's necessarily
that's what
much. I just think she's nervous about getting hurt.
That's fine. Listen, when you get older as a wrestler, it's understandable.
It was atrocious. Mm-hmm. That shit was bad.
Yeah. Bring back Mandy Rose, please. Too. Come on.
They're not going back.
Of course.
Bring her back.
They're not.
She was like the closest to like the old school diva era. Just
they're not going to
really hot girl that's there because she's really hot. Like, like she wasn't the greatest wrestler. Let's be honest. She had that title because she just absolutely looked the best. Like
that's honest. Yeah, that's literally it.
And my girl's probably making a ton with her like knockoff OnlyFans still. I'm not gonna lie. She's probably making
she's making bank. She's making more than the WWE could pay her.
Absolutely. The WWE absolutely would. So here's the thing. They'd be smart. Bring her back after she gained like that much more and just like play off of that. Like
they're bringing a whole crowd of people to the shit. Like, yeah, that's smart.
Let Vince treat her like Stacy Keibler.
Oh, that would never happen. I will say this. It seems like the crowds are very different than what they used to be. Like, Alex, back in your era, basically, am I going too far to say that teenagers weren't even exactly cool unless they had like an NWO or a fucking DX shirt on in high school?
I mean, it was very much a different time where it was still taboo. It was like bizarrely taboo, but not, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you had a DX or NWO, you were cool. Mm-hmm. But anything else besides that, you were a fucking nerd. Yes. Like, you know, like if you had like a Wolfpack shirt, that was fine and things like that. But if you had a Job Squad thing on, you were a loser. If you had like, you know, something like that, like anything else, like Mankind was weird. Undertaker, you were an emo kid. Like you couldn't have, there were certain acceptable ones. But not even that far because like your athletes weren't still wearing those. Like they were just kind of like the cool druggies that were wearing that shit. Yeah. Like, you know, so, but it was definitely something there. Now, you know, I do remember though, one thing that everyone did was suck it. Suck it. And also,
my sister's gonna be on that shit.
Suck it. And I knew that young.
Before
and Jeff Hardy.
That, yeah.
And Jeff Hardy.
Exactly.
Jeff Hardy, like, but again, we didn't realize he was putting fucking guns to his face.
Guns.
Like, Jeff Hardy's whole thing was insinuating, and knowing Jeff Hardy and what he struggles with, we should have all, like Chester Bennington gave us signs. Jeff Hardy has given us signs this whole time. That man should be on wellness checks every other day. Like, but yeah, no, it's fun that it's coming back, and I don't think we're ever going to get it to where it was. There's too many Karens, there's too much bullshit, and they were after WWE a long time. People don't care about who's it for. That's the thing. They don't care. They
cares a lot more than you think.
WWE cares a lot. But I feel like I don't think Triple H cares. I think Triple H would do it again, but I just think Triple H knows that he can't. Mm-hmm. I think he knows.
I just feel like him being in like him running shit now. I feel like is their best option.
Yes.
I mean, like Triple H, I remember watching Raw episodes where at the end of Raw, if DX was out there last, he would point to random women and they would flash. And it became like a weekly thing. And it became a part of their intro. Every day he would just go and point to chicks and they would flash. And sometimes, whatchamacallit, whatever the station was, TNA or TN, whatever they were on, wouldn't censor it. And you'd get like a nip and then they would censor it quick. Like it was ridiculous what they get away with. And
I understand not getting away with that now.
Oh no, I don't.
But like, no,
they want dudes to strip for little kids, and you can't show tits on TV in prime time. Like, come on now.
Right.
At least bring little boys out of the soy for a little bit. Come on. That could be a shirt. Bring little boys out of the soy.
Out of the soy.
Just have like a 6-year-old with like a manly beard. On shirts. Dave, that should be our logo.
I would love that.
Yeah, maybe. All right, real quick, Pat. I do have to ask one last thing about recent wrestling. Who is your favorite male wrestler that is not huge, who's not like main card, like a main event quality, and who's your favorite female wrestler that's not main event quality right now? I will say mine first. My favorite male is Chad Gable. I really fucking like Chad Gable for his wrestling generally. Like his technical wrestling is disgusting. He really is an ex-Kurt Angle. And my favorite female is probably Shotzi, and that's mostly just an aesthetic thing. Like out of the green and the tank.
Mine would be Dakota Kai. Like hers, like
Dakota Kai is awesome. Dakota Kai is awesome.
Love her.
I actually was gonna go with Dakota. I'm not gonna lie, Dakota Kai was my check. So
yeah,
I agree with you on that. I do. I agree with you. What did you do?
No, it's hard.
It's not easy.
Dave, does Gunther count since he's technically not?
Yes, that's okay. So that was my choice.
I'll give you Gunther. It's
because he's not in the he's a mid card guy.
Because he's making the Intercontinental Championship matter right now doesn't mean it's not a mid card title.
Yeah, I really
love Gunther too.
Gunther is that rare breed of giant human that actually can move and can do everything. And
Good.
he plays the role of like, he's actually intimidating, right?
Mhm.
And that's one of the cool things when you can get guys that are actually intimidating doing the role. And he's perfect for it. And he's a good one. That's my favorite mid-card guy. And I think Gunther should be in the main scene soon.
He will be. Once he loses
definitely
the
will be.
Intercontinental, he'll be a main eventer.
Yeah,
But they want him to break
his
Honky
match-
Tonk's record.
His match at WrestleMania with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre was fucking amazing.
So fucking good, dude.
And
That shit was amazing.
Every single match he's had with Sheamus has been a 5-star or damn near a 5-star.
Hell yeah.
can we give a kudos to Sheamus as well? Sheamus
Yeah,
being a
of
guy
course.
willing to work with a Gunther and being a guy, obviously that they're not going to push him into the title scene anymore, but is still just doing yeoman work and
exactly.
still putting guys over. And also to Drew. Drew could very easily be a little bitch about what's going on. He was right up in that main event thing, and to be pushed back and have the Intercontinental there, like, I think that's the Triple H effect right now. I think Triple H is getting guys to buy into what WWE is again, and what it's meant to be, and where you can be. And because Triple H was a guy that wasn't always a main eventer, even when he first burst in,
People don't know that though.
he was down in the Intercontinental for a long time because Shawn Michaels was the main event guy in DX.
Yep.
And then once Shawn got hurt and they still wanted DX, that's when Triple H recruited X-Pac away from WCW.
Yep.
And it was just those two with China for a little bit.
Yep.
And then they got the New Age Outlaws.
Yep.
And that's when they kind of became a thing. And you had X-Pac floating around with the light heavyweight and also the Intercontinental scene. And that's when Triple H burst in as the championship guy. So being a guy that grinds like that was a grinder for a little while, I think he's giving these guys that are sitting there and has this main card, like main event talent, is like, be patient. Be patient. This is what I did, and now look at who I am. Be patient type of stuff. Dave?
Oh,
I think Pat might have froze.
think we might have lost Pat. But yeah, generally I agree with that. And it is fun to see it developing more as, yet again, not just the Bloodline story arc, not just Roman Reigns and the Usos and stuff like that, because the Bloodline is actually a damn good story arc, especially when Sammy got in and everything. But you can't just have only that run your wrestling show. You have a full roster. It's not just a main event card. It's not just a main event. You have things that you need to fill out. So I'm happy that it seems to be developing in a way that is making everything more important. Now we'll see what happens in the long run, but right now I generally am feeling pretty good about the upward stock of WWE.
Yeah, the Bloodline kind of ran into a little bit of a roadblock, I think. I think they kind of, especially with the transition from Vince to Triple H being within that story, Vince kind of had them storyless, and it was obvious when Freddie Prinze Jr., which, yes, the Freddie Prinze Jr., everyone, if you don't know that, the mega actor, the Hollywood heartthrob when he was younger, is one of the biggest WWE fans and one of the best WWE writers. It was obvious when Freddie Prinze had nothing to do with the storyline or had nothing to do with any of the groups because it was stale, it had no life to it, and there wasn't an end. And I think that's the issue right now. We still don't see the end of the Bloodline. We see it happening. We see fractures, but every time there's a fracture, they pull it back. Fracture, and it's bubbling, but there still isn't an end. You've seen an end to all of these great, the Ministry of Darkness, the, Nation of Domination, like, the Evolution. You saw the end, and they let the end be progressive, and they finished it. They eventually all broke up. The Authority, I can think of all these. Like, they had these. That's a problem right now that the WWE needs to figure out. There is no end to this faction still.
Yeah.
It'll end when Reigns stops being the tribal chief. That's when it's going to end. And that's up to them. Because until he lets that mantle go, they almost can't break this up.
They can't stay. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. We'll have a line if everyone can hear Pat's back. But, but with that, this is, time flew, Mo. Time flew.
It did, and I love it.
Really appreciate you coming on the show, brother. We're going to close it on out. Nope. Yeah, I said we're going to close on out the show. We appreciate you coming on.
Oh, of course. Look, thank you for having me. Let's do this again, please.
Oh, 100.
Absolutely. This was a great time.
Please.
Dave, before we go, do you have anything you want to say? Final words? Last
I actually spoke a lot in this one.
You did.
Look at me. Look at me being a good boy.
You were a good
I'm
boy.
happy.
You were finally a good co-host.
Why are
And
you bringing that out?
I am gonna end off every show with our actual former mascot,
I hate you.
Yopty. I think is the Yopty broken? He's kind of broken, but let's see if he still makes noise. Oh yeah. There's the Yopty.
I couldn't hear it.
You did hear it. You're a liar. You didn't
I
hear
did not. No, I actually didn't.
I heard it.
Okay, he heard it, so it works out.
it. How do you not? Are you?
I don't know.
You like a dog? Can you not hear certain
Yeah,
levels?
yeah. I've changed.
You're
I'm a
bizarre.
changed man.
You're bizarre. You're an anamorph. Anyway, once again, Alex Cuesta show. That's Pat Adebamowo. If you can't hear, he's family. So this was just a real easy, fun podcast for us to do together. If you heard, give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, spread this word of mouth. Find us on the socials at the Alex Cuesta show. We will be back once again next week. So long, everybody.